What? Y'all thought we were done with king cake? Nah! Bonjour, y'all. I'm Miss K. This is Go Cuisine. Let's make a king cake. We're gonna try out this Mam Papaul's king cake mix. If you look up these and you're wondering why they're so expensive, I mean, let's look at what's in the box. It does include the baby and a kneading bag. So let's get in here. Oh, let's look at the instructions. We're going to need hot water, an egg, and some butter. And then you can do this in a mixer or food processor, or you can knead it in the bag. And they do include the bag. And then we're going to shape it, bake it, and decorate it. We also have the history of the king cake here. And here's the nutritional information if you're interested. And the ingredients. That makes me wonder, looking it up on Yuka, I'm just curious. Oh, it got a 5 on Yuka. Whatever. We're still gonna make this. All right, and this is from Louisiana. In the box, we've got the dough mix. It says dough on it, in case you didn't know. And then you've got the kneading bag. Have some tape. I've made one of these before. They're not that bad. Get your little baby. Baby. This kneading bag is pretty heavy duty. Plastic. You have a little package of yeast. It is SAF, so I approve. You've got your sanding sugars. Vert, violet, et doré. Jaune. We've got a glaze mix. And we've got our filling mix. All right, so let's get together and make this. Now, the question is, do I want to make it in the bag or do I want to use a machine? I have decided to opt for the machine route because I'm feeling lazy. To knead it, you have to knead it in the bag for 15 minutes. This is just going to be quicker. So let's get started here. We need to, this is option 1. So we chose our appropriate attachment. I'm using the dough hook, and we're going to put the mix and yeast in a bowl and mix that together first. Smells like cake flour. And probably sugar. It smells good. And then we need our yeast. Yeasties. Okay, that's a good mix. Pour the yeast in and give that a stir. And then we're going to put 1 cup of, it says very warm, 120 to 130 degrees F. So let's check that. This is what the temperature I normally use, but it says 120. So let's go back to the microwave and heat this up. Okay. That's better. So we're going to put this into the bowl with the yeast and dough mix, along with half a cup of softened butter. You need a whole stick. And it's so cold in here, this isn't that soft, but that's why we're using the machine today. I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces to help it out. Egg, you gotta wait your turn. If you're doing this by hand, I'd also suggest cutting this up The heat from your hand will help melt the butter. This just helps it get in there faster. And then we're going to mix well, and then we'll add the egg and then mix it again. Oops. When you're mixing dough, never put it above the 2 on your stand mixer or you will ruin the motor. After it makes a dough, we're gonna add the egg. Why can't I crack an egg anymore? One egg in. It's getting there. We're supposed to mix this for approximately 3.5 minutes, or until it pulls away from the sides of the bowl. Okay, so about like that. Okay. And you can see it's still kind of stuck to the bowl, but that's okay. This is a brioche dough, so it's going to be kind of sticky. If you have this mix, you're making it from scratch. They have all the ingredients there for you. All you've got to do is add the butter, but you're doing all the work. So this counts as making it from scratch if you ask me. They just put it all into one convenient package for you. This doesn't tell you to do it, but I'm going to gather the dough up like it's on the edges. And we're going to let this rise in a warm place for 30 minutes until it's doubled in size. They have some hints for a warm place, i.e., you know, on top of your oven. On top of your stove while your oven's on. That'll work. Or I know you can turn your oven on for 1 minute. Don't walk away. Turn it off after the 1 minute. It's not going to be completely preheated, and that's good. You don't want it too hot, and then you can warm it up in there. Hey, I'm glad I'm scraping this because I'm seeing some dry bits on the bottom. Look, see the dry bits? That's not good. Those white spots. So let me mix that in because that won't make good eats. And then my oven has a proof setting. So I'm going to set mine in the oven for 30 minutes. But you do want to cover this so your dough doesn't dry out. There we go. In an oven, not an oven, in a warm place. And I'm actually going to use their bag. I think this will fit over my bowl. No, it won't. It'll fit over it this way. So warm place, 30 minutes, and then we'll check on it. Just another tip really quick. If you can't touch the inside, don't burn yourself trying to do this, but if you can't touch the inside, it's too hot for your bread. It should only be like 80 to 100 degrees max. 100 might be a little too hot, but you should be able to comfortably touch the inside. Coffee break. Well, my mic stopped working, so let me run you through this. You get some more butter. You thought we were done with butter? No. We're going to melt some butter and then stir in our filling into this butter. This time we only need 2 tablespoons melted. And then just stir in the praline filling and it'll make a nice crumbly mix that you're going to put into your dough. Push it around and make sure you get everything hydrated. You don't want any dry parts. Next, flour your surface, and we're going to roll out our dough. Look how puffy it got, guys. It's so nice. I love a nice, puffy, yeast-raised dough. Use your bowl scraper, and if there's any dough stuck to the bottom, scrape it out and throw it on top. It should be nice and elastic at this point. It's still very soft. You expect that from a brioche dough. You just want to either stretch it out or roll it out into a rectangle. Because I'm a perfectionist, I'm going to fold this over on itself and roll it out so I have a nice neat rectangle. Add a little more flour if it gets too sticky, but really you want to add as little as possible because we don't want to change the hydration of the dough. If at any point your dough starts to snap back from the size you made it, cover it and walk away for about 10 minutes and then try again. That's the gluten, it just needs to relax. I'm measuring because it gave me a specific measurement and I'm like that, but you could eyeball it. I would also like to throw in, if you don't have a rolling pin like this, I suggest it. The ones with the handle, you just really can't control the pressure that you put on your dough. This makes it so much easier. They wanted this impossibly long, so that's why I'm still going. Have a look. That's the length of my whole counter, but I digress. Let's put the filling in. Kind of think about this like a cinnamon roll. You don't want the edges to have any on it because you got to seal it up, but you're going to spread this across the middle part and then roll it up towards you. Don't be afraid to get your hand in there. Clean hands only, please. Grab the edge that's the furthest from you and roll it in a little bit at a time. Be careful not to rip it. It might be stuck to the counter. Hopefully not, because we were checking as we went, hopefully. And you're just going to keep doing this. Do it as tight as you can. Don't rush it, little by little. And then just, if it won't stick, you can wet your finger and run it across the edge here so it'll stick together. And then per the instructions, we're going to pinch this baby closed all the way along the edge. And then I smoothed out the pinches. If it feels strong enough, you can kind of roll it to smooth those out, but I wasn't feeling very confident on this one. Now listen, kids, it's very important that this seam goes on the bottom or it will bust open in the oven. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. Seam side down. And then shape it into a ring and pinch the two ends together as best you can. Now this dough is pretty forgiving, so I'm confident that anybody can use this mix and make a king cake. Ta-da! Make a ring, and then you're going to let this sit and preheat the oven. Be sure to cover it so that it doesn't dry out. I'm using a clean, lint-free dish towel. You can use plastic if you'd like. The oven's at 375, and then when it gets nice and puffy, he's going in the oven. Now hopefully none of your filling busted out, but I noticed on mine there's some places where it got really thin and I can see it. Just be careful. And of course, the baby. Don't bake him in there. We put him in there after. So no, he doesn't go in there right now. It says it right here on the box. Do not place the plastic baby in the cake. It even says not to do it afterwards, but to place it under. But okay, I've always shoved it in there after baking, but we will find out what we're going to do later. Night night, cake, bake well. Just a PSA to remind you not to bake your plastic baby. Ta-da! Nice and golden brown, and you don't have to do this, but I'm paranoid. It's baked to 190. I'm scared I will give someone raw dough, and I just can't do it. Now we need to let it cool, and we'll do our frosting. We're just going to mix a couple of tablespoons of water with their frosting mix. I recommend using a whisk to do this because the frosting mix was quite lumpy and you need it nice and smooth like this. Next, we are going to put it on the cake and put some sprinkles. I have some extra gold sprinkles that I'm going to be using because why not? It's Mardi Gras. It's supposed to be fun dazzling extra over the top. And you just put this on the top, but be ready to put your sprinkles on there because we need them on there before it dries. You can just drizzle or spoon it over the top. It'll work its way down the side on its own, so don't try to do the sides. Decide on the pattern of sprinkles you want, and I would suggest just cutting the corner off so you can control where they go more, because otherwise they go everywhere. And I'm just gonna do stripes of color, but you could do like 3 sections, you could do little bitty sections. You get to decide. That's the fun part. And for these gold ones, I'm just hand placing them where I'd like them to be. That looks pretty good. And now I gotta move it onto my serving tray and put in the baby. So let me show you how I do that. So yes, my serving tray is a baking sheet. It didn't cook very well, but it's pretty, so I kept it to serve things on. I'm just gonna lay the baby there, and then I'm gonna put the cake on top of it. Make sure it's not stuck to your parchment before you try to go over. And then you're just going to lay it on top. This is pretty sturdy, so I don't have to worry about it. Kind of push it down. And there you go. Now it's ready for a little party. Now, so you guys can see the inside, let's be an awkward YouTuber and show you what the texture is while I serve it to people. You can see it's nice and soft. Let me get everyone served, and then we'll come back and do a taste test after they're gone. Gotta hide the baby. Don't worry, I washed my hands. Turn that over so nobody sees. It smells really good. There's the filling. Now this is not the best king cake I've ever had. It just isn't. For one thing, I don't like the frosting on the top, but I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's a good place to start. It's better than not having king cake. So do I recommend it? Why not? It makes it easy. It's edible, but it's a mix, so you don't have a lot of control over what goes in it. I'm not sure that this is a lot easier than just doing it from scratch. Yeah, it measured everything out for me except for the butter, the egg, and the water. So it does save me a little bit of time, and it has explicit instructions that could walk you through if you're a beginner. But I feel like you could probably do better than this from homemade. It is tender, and like I said, I don't hate it. So maybe, what would I rate this? Maybe a 6 out of 10? Maybe a 7? We'll call it 6.5. Tell me what you think in the comments. Would you use a mix to make your king cake? Would you buy it from the grocery store? Or do you prefer to make it at home from scratch? Or maybe you live by a bakery that makes a really good one. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Check it out. Oh, if you want to see the video where I tasted the grocery store king cake, you can click somewhere here, wherever YouTube puts that. See you in the next video. Bon appetit. Au revoir. I found the baby.